Imagine looking in the mirror and seeing a woman who no longer seeks approval, no longer explains herself, no longer runs after anyone. A woman who has chosen to make herself the priority every single day, who no longer waits to be chosen, but chooses herself. And what if I told you that this change starts with the image you decide to show the world? I know what you might say. Looks don't matter. It's shallow. But here's the truth. That belief might be the invisible cage that's stopping you from becoming who you really are. Because every time you ignore your appearance, you're quietly telling yourself, I don't deserve attention. When you reject your femininity, your beauty, your presence, you're not freeing yourself. You're turning down your own light. You're handing over your power without even seeing it. They taught you that being polished, sensual, elegant was silly. They told you that being strong meant enduring, sacrificing, holding back. They made you believe vanity is weakness. But what if it's the opposite? What if real strength is choosing every day to care for yourself even when no one is looking? What if brushing your hair, dressing with intention, looking at yourself with respect is actually a quiet revolution, a rebellion against everything that tried to make you disappear? In this video, you'll see why becoming deeply committed to your image isn't vanity. It's a silent form of power. A psychological strategy to come back to yourself. A way to rebuild who you are from the outside in. You'll see how your reflection in the mirror can become your strongest ally. And you'll understand why a woman who rebuilds herself through her image becomes unstoppable. You've been told again and again that caring about how you look is superficial. That if you care too much, you must be insecure. That smart women don't wear makeup. That real beauty is only on the inside. And so you learn to feel guilty every time you took care of yourself. But here's a truth almost no one told you. Beauty isn't just appearance. It's visible energy. It's inner order made visible. It's not just makeup. It's intention. It's not vanity. It's direction. When you dress with care, when you choose your lipstick or your hairstyle, you're not doing it just to be seen. You're doing it to remember who you are, to feel that you are in charge, to communicate with yourself. Every detail you choose with intention becomes a message, a gesture that says, I matter. I deserve. I decide. The people who made you feel shallow for this were afraid. Afraid of a woman who knows herself. Afraid of a woman who likes herself. Because a woman who likes herself doesn't settle. She doesn't accept crumbs. She cannot be easily manipulated. And she no longer depends on anyone's approval. You weren't born to hide. Your femininity is not a flaw to fix. It's a strength to grow. And your appearance is not a problem. It's a possibility. A powerful language that speaks before you say a single word. You don't need to justify your wish to feel beautiful. You're not devaluing your mind. You're restoring value to your presence. When you stop being afraid of being seen, you become truly dangerous. Because the woman who shows herself is the woman who has stopped asking for permission to exist. Everything you reject in yourself, your emotions, your desires, parts of your character, doesn't disappear. It hides. It goes underground, and from there it acts. And do you know what one of the most common hidden parts in a woman is? Her blocked femininity. The part of herself that was mocked, criticized, shamed, devalued, and so she buried it. You learn not to be too much, too beautiful, too sensual, too confident to you. You learn to dim your light to be accepted. You pretended not to care about your looks so you wouldn't seem shallow. You gave up your glow to avoid making others uncomfortable. You held back your beauty so you wouldn't disturb anyone. You suppressed your presence to look more modest. But every time you deny that part, you don't erase it. You push it into the dark. And what you push away doesn't vanish. It shows up as insecurity, harsh self-criticism, anxiety, constant comparison. When a woman disconnects from her image, she loses touch with a vital force. a force that has nothing to do with what others think. It's pure power, internal quiet. It's the kind of energy that lets you walk into a room and change the atmosphere without saying a word. Reconnecting with your image doesn't mean obsessing over other people's opinions. It means accepting who you truly are. It means no longer splitting yourself into who you are and who you show. It means releasing the shame around what makes you shine. Your image isn't a mask, it's a bridge. It's how your inner world becomes visible. One of the most ignored tools in personal growth is the power of daily rituals. You don't need a big dramatic event to change your life. Often, real change starts in silence, while you fix your hair, while you choose an outfit with intention, while you look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am worthy. Taking care of your appearance isn't a hobby for vain women. It's a psychological ritual of inner reorganization. It's a form of presence, a simple act that roots you in the here and now. Every act of self-care, washing your face, picking your clothes, straightening your posture, sends a message to your mind, I'm creating order. I'm creating direction. And your mind responds. Because the mind reacts to symbols, and your appearance is one of the strongest symbols you have. When you see yourself neglected, you feel lost. When you see yourself centered, you remember who you are. The way you show up in the world becomes a message even before you talk. Every detail is a statement of identity, a non-verbal language that says, I'm awake, I'm aware, I'm here. When you begin to treat yourself with value, the world starts to mirror that. Your relationships change. Your conversations become more respectful. Even opportunities seem to move toward those who radiate self-respect. It's not magic. It's energetic clarity. When you move with intention, you send a clear signal. I know who I am. And this isn't really about aesthetics. It's emotional discipline. A woman who gives time to her appearance every day isn't doing it just to get attention, but to ground herself, especially when everything outside is confused. The makeup may fade, the hairstyle may fall apart, but the inner sensation you have when you've chosen and cared for yourself, that remains. And that is what holds you. Ritual becomes a quiet statement of self-worth. You no longer shout to be seen. You no longer beg to be understood because you're already connected to yourself. And when a woman is connected to herself, she becomes impossible to ignore. There is a very specific moment when your rebirth begins. It's when you stop seeing the mirror as a judge and start seeing it as an ally. The mirror doesn't attack you, it reflects you. And what you see is not just a face, a body, an image. It's the outer expression of your inner state. The reflection doesn't lie. It shows you exactly where you are. No filters, no excuses. Think about those moments when you feel lost and your appearance also seems to fall apart. It's not an accident. The outside and the inside are deeply connected. They're always in conversation. One shapes the other every single moment. When you neglect yourself on the outside, something inside loses order. You feel out of tune, detached. But when you start to rebuild yourself externally, your mind pays attention. It follows, it realigns. It starts to believe in you again. Your reflection becomes a guide, an emotional thermometer, a quiet sign of how much you are choosing yourself or abandoning yourself. And the more you learn to treat that image in the mirror with kindness, the more you learn to respect yourself inside. It's not about beauty. It's about identity. It's inner truth made visible. It's a form of daily honesty. Every time you look at yourself with love, you're writing a strong message into your mind. This is me and I'm worthy. And that message, repeated day after day, reshapes how you think, how you choose, how you live. Many women wait to feel better before they start caring for themselves. But often, it's the other way around. Start caring for yourself, and you begin to feel better. Action comes before emotion. The act of self-care sparks the feeling of self-worth. The mirror isn't your enemy. It's a tool, an ally, a quiet partner in your growth. Looking into your own eyes every morning with gentleness is one of the most powerful things you can do. Because while everyone tries to convince you that power is out there, you discover that power begins in your own gaze. And a woman who looks at herself with respect moves through the world with a force that doesn't need to be explained. When everything is falling apart around you, your first instinct is usually inner chaos. You search for answers. You hurry to explain yourself. You feel like arguing, justifying, being understood. You feel the urge to react just so you don't feel invisible. But there is another way, a response that doesn't come from the wound, but from strength, a different way of standing your ground without noise. A woman who has cared for her image with discipline doesn't just react. She responds. She doesn't fall to pieces. She gathers herself because she has built an anchor inside herself. Instead of arguing, she reorganizes. She lifts her posture, restructures her day, chooses an outfit that recharges her. She comes back to her center through small gestures that speak louder than any words. And that simple gesture unsettles those who thought they had power over her. Because everyone expects drama, but she offers calm. Everyone expects weakness, but she brings order. Everyone expects a reaction, but she becomes solid. In that moment, you don't need more words. You need presence. That kind of elegance that doesn't shout but affirms, that doesn't try to convince but quietly demands respect. Have you ever tried answering with self, care instead of anger? Have you ever chosen to care for yourself instead of chasing someone who hurt you? Have you ever decided that your time is worth more than endless explanations? This is the hidden power of image. It's not about being seen. It's about reminding yourself who you are, especially when everything around you tries to make you forget. And when you remember who you are, no one can easily push you out of your center, because your response is no longer reactive. It's royal. And in that inner kingdom, you lead. There's an effect very few people understand. When a woman starts to rebuild herself through her image, the people around her are forced to change their behavior. When you no longer react in the old ways, when you stop begging for attention, when you no longer keep explaining yourself, you shift the emotional balance. You take back the power others had over your feelings, you disarm them, you unsettle them. At first, they're confused. They expected the old version of you. The one who explains, apologizes, bends, the one who gives in just to avoid being left. But instead, they find a new woman, calm, clear, unavailable for the game. This creates real psychological confusion. The energy changes, and those who tried to control you lose their grip. Do you know why? Because they no longer know how to influence you. Their old tactics stop working. You've risen to a new level. A woman who invests in her image with intention sends a very clear message. I don't have time to waste. I don't take crumbs. I am my own priority. And that energy is incredibly powerful because it isn't aggressive. It's unstoppable. It isn't loud, but it commands respect. It's a presence that speaks even when you are silent. Every time you choose yourself instead of chasing someone, you raise your value on the emotional level. Every time you dress to feel strong, not to please, you declare independence. Every time you rebuild yourself in silence, the other person is forced to notice. And when they see you but can't own you, when they watch you but can't control you, they start to rethink everything. That is real psychological power. Not control over others, but freedom from every attempt to control you. And it's that freedom that makes your power undeniable. The strongest transformation is not the noisy one. It's the quiet one. The one that doesn't ask for approval. That doesn't need applause. That doesn't need to be seen in order to exist. A woman who is rebuilding herself doesn't announce it. She lives it. Her energy shifts before her words do, and the people who meet her feel it. They sense something they can't quite name. A new intensity. A calm that shakes them. There is something deeply unsettling about a woman who doesn't look for revenge but for growth, who doesn't chase explanations but direction, who doesn't stay stuck in pain but chooses her own rebirth day after day. Rebirth is not a show, it's a daily choice. It's dressing well even when no one is there to see. It's bringing order to your home while bringing order inside yourself. It's stopping the wait for someone to see your worth and starting to live it. The world notices. Those who once took you for granted begin to sense something different. A new independence. A light that can't be turned off. A woman who doesn't chase because she has learned how to stay. To stay loyal to herself even when others walk away. And those who tried to hurt you don't know how to behave because they no longer find the fragile version of you. They find presence. They find elegance. They find a strength that doesn't need defending. A presence that earns respect without asking for anything. True rebirth isn't about changing how others see you. It's about changing what you decide to believe about yourself. And when you change inside, everything outside starts to realign. A woman who rebuilds herself in silence never goes back to who she used to be. She becomes a new version, stronger, more selective, more free. If you've stayed with me until now, you already know this wasn't just about appearance. It was about identity. About choosing yourself. About stopping the habit of asking for space and starting to claim it. They taught you to shrink, to hide to be liked, to ask for permission just to exist. But the truth is, you don't need to change to be loved. You need to love yourself enough to stop accepting being ignored. Caring for your image isn't an empty move. It's an act of resistance. It's a moment of personal revolution. It's a declaration to the world: I exist, I choose, I matter. Every morning when you face the mirror, you're not just fixing your reflection. You're honoring a woman. You're building a version of yourself. You're sending out a message before you say a single word. And it doesn't matter who disappointed you. It doesn't matter who refused to see you. What matters is what you choose to see today when you look at yourself. If you choose presence over absence, care over chaos, authenticity over performance, you're already walking toward your most powerful form. A woman who builds herself every day becomes a force of nature. Not because of how she looks, but because of what she radiates. And if you want to keep rebuilding yourself with intention, to find strength in your choices, and to be reminded every day of who you are, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share this video with a woman who needs to remember herself. Because real beauty begins the moment you stop asking for permission.